Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about stamp duty. What's it all about and how much are you going to have to pay? Hi, I'm Kimberly Shapcott, qualified chartered accountant with over 15 years of experience and a property investor with 6 properties and more to come. Let's grab a seat. So you're thinking of buying a property. Let's have a chat about stamp duty. Stamp duty is something that kicks in when you buy a property. Now, it doesn't matter how you buy the property, whether it's in your own name or in a company, you will still pay stamp duty. Now, if you buy it in your own name, we've got a few considerations to make. Is it your first property that you are buying ever? If it's the first property you own, then you will have your first time buyers allowances, which help and reduce the stamp duty. If it's an additional property, you'll pay the normal stamp duty rates plus an additional 3%. So there's a few considerations to make there when you are doing your calculations when buying a property. When you're buying a property in a company, whatever you do, there will always be the additional rate of stamp duty to pay at 3%. Now, let's just kick back to the first-time buyer implications. There have been times where I have seen a few clients that have actually bought in a property company rather than buying their own name. The reason being, they've not bought a property in their own name and they don't really want to be wasting their first-time buyer benefits of getting stamp duty at the reduced rates and not necessarily having to pay any, which therefore means by buying in a company, because it is a separate entity, you don't lose those first-time buyer implications, the savings that the government allows for you as a first-time buyer. So it's a great way of kind of buying property and still being able to use those benefits. If the property is under 40,000, there may be no stamp duty to pay, and there are some dwellings allowances. So if you're buying a big block of multiple properties, of 6 or more properties, you may be able to get some different allowances available which will reduce the stamp duty payable. So do speak to an accountant or tax advisor and check out whether there's any benefits that you can be finding to help reduce your stamp duty costs. Unfortunately, it is a cost that we will have to incur as property investors until any changes happen in the future, but there is definitely the benefit of making sure you're keeping these costs down to a minimum. Up until June, the government have made an allowance where you do not have to pay stamp duty up until 500,000 valued properties. This is great for everybody because it is seeing the housing market, the property market move. However, as an investor, don't get too excited because there will still be the 3% to pay on buying the property. If you're in Wales, you'll still have to pay stamp duty. If you're in England and Scotland, you will just have to pay the 3%. After June and up until September, this figure has gone from properties up to 500 down to 250,000. So if you are buying a property up to 250,000, your stamp duty will be at 3% rather than the normal rates after you kick into the 125,000, 2%, 250, 5%, and all the different rates as they grow. So there is some benefit as a property investor to buying properties over the next few months, and they are really going to help with being able to get some of the properties on the current property market. If you need to find out how much stamp duty you are going to have to pay, check out HM Revenue and Customs stamp duty calculator. That will tell you how much stamp duty you have to pay and give you an accurate figure to make sure your numbers are right when you do your calculations to check out what you've got to pay. And also it will check out what your solicitors are doing to make sure that they are telling you the right stamp duty as well. I want to say they get it 100% right. They get it right most of the time, but you just need to keep your finger on the pulse to make sure that they're on the same wavelength as you. If you have any property, tax or accounts questions, please do put them in the comments below and we'll answer them in the next future videos. Thank you for joining me on our video today. I hope you have figured out how stamp duty works and some of the things that you need to consider. Check out HM Revenue and Customs calculator. Click like and subscribe to the channel to find out more about property tax and accountancy topics. Share your video with your friends and anyone you think may find it useful, and let's make tax less taxing together.